How's it going, man? Sorry, man. My webcam on my computer stopped working. I switched to my laptop.
That's fine, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. It's going live. It's just loading and then it'll be live. Um, so I
It's not
still
live yet.
find, sorry,
You're not live yet.
it's about 3 seconds.
All right.
But yeah, I still find this live streaming like very exciting. It's like,
Uh,
I mean, like we couldn't have done all this 10, 20 years ago, could we?
no, it's
So
like the.
it's yeah, I felt I'm a little like a little kid when I'm you doing this. So are you a bit bored of all the live streaming because you do it so much?
Uh, actually, yeah. I was thinking about it the other day.
You are.
Uh, when you're thinking like just live streaming, like just in general, like the protests. I was out on Saturday, thought live streaming something. There's some
Mm.
boycott iPhone in Regent Street, and it was just boring. You
Right.
know, like during lockdown, it was fun. There was
Mm.
like a reason for it. Now it's just like it's just so regimented. It's just a thing. You're just
Right.
standing there holding a camera, and it's just like it's just a bit boring. Yeah.
And your arm starts to hurt presumably after a while.
I mean, you get like tripods, but even then, it's just there's no real fun in it. I mean, if I was making lots of money, I'll probably find some fun. I was like,
You're not
doesn't matter
making
what's
much
going
money.
on on live streaming on YouTube. Unless you got like 1,000 people watching or hundreds and hundreds. Right.
You're not making any money at all.
On YouTube, you don't really. I lost my monetization in December, and I just got it back. So money does come through like videos and everything. You get lots of views,
Mm.
but you need to have like a substantial amount, like all the time, really.
How about like people donating to you on the Patreon and stuff? Do you not get people who are like
I don't. I
support what
have
you're
a
doing?
Patreon. Don't really use it. I mean, people will donate. So there are people like in the past that they'll donate on like PayPal, but I haven't been live streaming that much like this year. But a lot of people they use the super chats, which is a YouTube feature. So on
Right.
the chat, when there's a live chat, you click super chat, you can choose how much money you want to put. Your comment comes to the top. So it could be £2 to whatever you want, really. But YouTube takes like 30%. So there's some people who just use that. So I haven't had that since I've just put I don't know, 8 months. And there's some people who might use PayPal. But again, I haven't been live streaming that much. So it's not a reliable thing. But if you have lots of numbers like regularly all the time, then just by like probability, like you will get something. People will give you stuff.
Okay.
Like if you're like Tim Pool with 1 million subscribers, or you got like 500,000 subscribers somewhere, you go live, people want to use the super chats because their comments will go on top. It's like a form of advertising.
Oh, I see.
So say if there's like 10,000 people watching a channel and then Tomoko comes on and then puts a £5 tip saying, hey, yo, hi, how's it going? Like everyone will see your name on top.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not a reliable thing unless you got numbers.
Yeah, I'd just say if anyone's watching this, this is Siroj who has a YouTube channel called Actual Coverage, and he's basically like a journalist who was at the anti-lockdown protests and then has been live streaming since then. Um, and it's your full-time gig now, right?
Um, Not so much. Before the last couple of years, it kind of has been. That's because a lot was going on, especially the last couple of years. Now, like at the beginning, I was saying, like, it's just everything's getting a bit boring. There's lots of protests, but there's not a lot of interest in them, unless you're focusing on things which like have a lot of action, things that are kicking off. Like there's violence, there's like Pakistan protests, police are hitting each other, and I kind of don't want to do that. So,
Mm,
like this year especially, I've been doing a lot of music, like with the Daz band,
right.
but the actual filming, I haven't been doing so much. I just pick and choose a few things. So I'm just like doing work, playing music, and when I kind of feel like it, I'll go and film something.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped. I used to go to the protests, like that was my whole life in 2021, because I had like a night shift job, which I was doing
Mm.
2 days a week, and then the rest of the time I was just getting pissed and going to the protests. And that was a yeah, crazy, amazing. It was like half crazy and half amazing. Like I was very bitter and very like angry, but then I was also like,
Mm.
whoa, everyone's waking up. The whole world is waking up. And then it was like, oh, actually everyone's not the world's not really waking up. It's kind of woken up, but it's not really. Did you get that kind of sense too at the time? Did you think, oh my God, this is going to change everything?
I didn't know. I mean, like it feels like a long time ago now, but everything was just really exciting. So it was amazing to see that there's so many people who are thinking like a similar thing. We're like, yeah, we're not having this. And
Uh,
it's amazing to see like people from all walks of life, different, even different political spectrums were there. Everyone's just like, no, fuck this. This is not happening. And they were hoping it was going to be that, like everyone's going to wake up. But the moment you allowed to just go back inside, sorry, go back outside,
mm,
it was from that moment, it was like, what's going on? Like, everyone isn't waking up. Because even a lot of the people coming to the protests stopped coming to the protests.
mm,
And you're like, hey, what's this about? Like, I thought, this was tyranny.
mm.
And now that you're allowed to go to the pub again, it's like tyranny's over. Yeah, you saw it with the nurses, like they were coming out, oh my God, they're trying to mandate us, this is tyranny. And then there was like, we're not going to mandate you. And then they all disappeared.
Yeah, yeah,
It's that's when I realized, okay, like people just wanted their own personal thing at that moment and in time. And once they're able to do that, then they just carried on as usual. But it's not a doom and gloom situation because from there, networks were created. Like look, you're live now. Different people have newspapers. People have their own news shows. There's stand in the park. There's so many different things. So now there's like it's a lifestyle. It's a group of people
mm,
all over the world. Everyone uses that term. We're awake.
mm,
People are making their own festivals. So it's like it's moved on to another thing. There's community,
mm.
and they're recognized like as a group of people. So it's just moved on from the process. The protest at the time was a necessary thing, and they were very important because the government told you not to do that. The people in power said, "Don't come outside. Just do what we tell you to do." And everyone came out and said, "No, we're not going to do what you told us to do. We're not going to comply." So
Mm.
that was a very important moment. They were very important, and I genuinely believe because there were so many people in London protesting, we never got mandated in England. Wales did, Scotland did, and I was there when they passed the vote in Edinburgh at Parliament, and then I was there when they were meant to enforce it. But in England, that never happened because there was just this massive amount of people constantly coming out. Every couple of weeks, there's hundreds of thousands, maybe a million, constantly coming out. So if they did try and force it, it would just be in chaos. So
Mm.
they were important, but from now, it's just moving on. People are just living their lives, creating it's like it's parallel society. That's what it is.
Two-tier
Like
society.
there is a two-tier society, but a parallel society will be like, uh, all right, lockdown, we're trying to go into a pub and they're throwing us out. You can't come in the pub if you don't comply. But even after that, I've been in pubs in central London after certain protests, different protests, where all of a sudden no one's allowed to be served because someone didn't like somebody or the staff got triggered by something. And then everyone's complaining, why are you throwing us out? But you don't, well, let them throw you out. Just make your own pub. That's powerless society. You can have your own businesses. You can have your own festivals. You can have your own shops to go to.
Mm.
There are farmers everywhere. So that's what people kind of need to do. That's what I'm trying to do as well.
Yeah, make our own communities. That is
Exactly.
definitely happening. Yeah. But I guess also the reason why people didn't carry on going to the protests is because we all need to earn a living, and
Mm.
a lot of the people who are awake because they spend so much time doing conspiracy research, they don't actually have time to make any money. Like,
Yeah.
and someone was telling me that they were like saying if you put as much effort into like making money as you did into this conspiracy research, you'd be like rich by now. And like even though like I was like, well, yeah, maybe, but there is something to that. Is like we all had a bit more money, we probably would have a bit more freedom to break out of our uh, sort of day to day having to pay bills and stuff.
Mm. I mean, that's a tricky thing. So it's like for me, it's kind of like a balance. It's like you can sit there, you can work, you can just push for that work and make lots of money. And then what happened to me personally, like I did that last year. So I lost some equipment. I had some very bad luck. It was almost comical how it happened. I lost like a lot of equipment. Then I was like, God damn it. And
Video
I just,
equipment.
yeah, I had my bag fell out of Sean's van. We left
Oh,
Daz's place and the van door opened, didn't realize, and it just fell out. And then it was gone. I think someone picked it up and whatever. But like, I was working a lot. I was like, screw this, right? It's not like a massive amount of money, but I was just like, let me just do agency work and do whatever I can. And then I was just doing that, and I made lots of money, and I upgraded everything.
mm,
So I just like got better camera, better equipment. But then I had all this money, and then I wasn't actually doing anything with it. Like all of a sudden, I just didn't have that energy to just go out and film something. But I just had all this cash on me. And I don't know, that's just me. Everyone's different, but it's trying to get a balance. Like I want to, and also I felt like shit. I'm saying I'm working, I'm making this money, and I was with my girlfriend. I just pulled this money out, and I was just like, what are you gonna do? Go to the pub? Like, what's the point having all of this? Like I
mm.
should be out doing something. So for me, it's like trying to find like a balance of being able to do everything. So when I do go out and film, like it's a loss. Like maybe if the channel grows, I could make money, but I don't do something and I see certain things happening, certain protests, things which are important, and I'm like, I should go and do that.
Mm.
The same way people came out to protest. Like I came out to protest. I never planned to film. I never filmed my life. I just turned the camera on one day and made a
Why?
bit and just filmed an arrest or filmed someone speaking and just went from there.
Why did you have the camera on you anyway?
Well, it's funny. I had a GoPro which I bought to record to make guitar videos. I thought that might be the future. Like just do stuff from home and make music and live stream from home. And then when lockdown happened, I was about to do it, and then this protest started happening, and I realized, oh shit, they say what they say it is. I don't think it's going back. So I went to the protests, and then I've been a couple of protests in. I just had a GoPro on me, and then I spoke to someone. My friends have heard this story lots of times, but I went to a protest and I met this nurse, and how it was, they were drinking on the street, and so was I. But I had a plastic bag, and they're looking for a bin. And obviously, there's no bins in central London because um, it has to be very safe, no bins. And then I just went over to them. I saw them. I said, "Look, you want to stick it in my bag?" They're
Mm.
like, "Oh, thank you so much." Started talking. It was a nurse, and she was nurse, ambulance driver. She was struck off because she wouldn't wear a mask. And she
Right.
said she's a veteran. It's like she gets PTSD, and they didn't give a shit. They just suspended her. And I went back to my friends, and I was like, "Man, that woman just said this. That's terrible."
Mm.
Like I should have filmed that. Someone, even though I never filmed, I had a phone on me, and I was like, I could have filmed that, done something with it. And a few similar things like that happened, and I just started filming.
Oh yeah. Especially in London, I bet there's loads of incidents like that, and that's yeah. Like when you film it, it like externalizes it and it makes it real, and you can like watch it. You can watch it back, and then it makes more sense to yourself
Yeah,
as well as being able to show it to other people.
I mean, the main thing was just showing it to other people. But the time I did it, I think it's just the right time. Like it was, I remember I think it was November 2020. I had no idea what I was gonna do. I just made the channel, and even the name, it was called Actual Interview at the time. And again, I didn't know what I was gonna do. I thought, what should I do? Like, should I talk to people, interview people? I don't know. And I just kept thinking of different names. And obviously, it's Google, right? So I didn't want to call it. I want to interview people 223, right? And eventually, the name that wasn't taken came up as Actual Interview. So I stuck with that. and I'll try to interview people. And then the first thing I did was fucking hilarious. I was just okay, I'm gonna do news now. What do I do? And I woke up early, looked at some news channels on TV and whatever, and there was something happening at the Nigerian embassy. So I went to the Nigerian embassy,
Mm.
and I don't normally go to central London. I just turned up with my GoPro, and I think I spoke to one dude, and he just told me, "Oh, that Nigeria, they're doing something, and we're not happy about it." And I think I put that up, and then I went to Speaker's Corner, and oh, before that, I stream sniped somebody. Right, this is the guy Subject Access. He filmed a lot of stuff at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
because he came up on my feed and it was live, and I never seen a YouTube live before. And I was like, "What the hell is this?" And people are writing comments, and I wrote something, and he read it out. And I was like, "This is crazy." And also, he's outside, and there are people outside. Things are open outside. Like I can go outside as well, I guess. And I said, "Where are you tomorrow?" And he told me this is a thing happening in near Buckingham Palace or somewhere around there. And I just turned up. That's a stream sniper. I said, "Hi, it's me." Right? And he goes, "Oh, hi, how's it going?" And
Subject Access.
Subject Access, yeah.
I haven't actually seen him much of his videos. Is he on YouTube still?
He's the main guy who's not doing anymore. So during lockdown, like he had he's getting so many views. He was doing audits and just going to like businesses and filming and see what happened. And then when all the protests started happening, he just happened to be there, and everyone started watching his streams because the protest was going on. And he was getting silly numbers. He'd have like 20,000 people watching, and so a lot of the early live streams of all these protests was on the Subject Access channel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still there, but it's more. But I think he works with other people. So like the main guy who used to do it is not doing. He's not really on it. But Heiko Ku is um, streaming his things through the channel. But
Right.
yeah, I stream sniped him, and then I just from there I went to this after party thing. It was a thing called He told me there's a drink after the curfew in Camden, next to Camden Town Station. And I turned up. It was like 9 o'clock in the evening, and I turned up there. And all these people were just there drinking, and that's the first time I hung out with people that weren't just one group of friends that I had who actually they all complied. This is like near the end of lockdown for the first year. They're all just having fun, and then Piers Corbyn turns up. I've never seen this guy before, and he's breathing fire, and I'm like, "This is fucking amazing! This is
That was
brilliant."
the
That's a
first
new
time you hung
inspired me.
around with the freedom movement type people.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, "This is brilliant." And I went to Subject Access. Look, you've inspired me, man. Like, I'm gonna start a channel, and that's when I started the channel.
Right.
But I filmed a few things, and then it just went on from there. Went to a protest, and it just went. Whew. And in 1 month, because so much was going on, the channel got like 500,000 views in like 1 month,
Hmm.
and got monetized straight away. So like all the videos were just going up because there were like arrests and interactions that were going on, and the whole country was watching. And I remember the first video I did that actually got some views. It got like 20, 30,000 views. And my channel had nothing on it. It had like 100 subscribers or something. And how it happened was quite funny. There was like a protest that didn't happen in Parliament Square. And then I went there, and I wasn't there to film the police. I was just there to talk to people. And then Subject Access was there, Tyrant Finder, and like two other people protesting. Just two people just turned up, was ready for coffee. And then the police turned up, and they just arrested the lady who was holding a coffee. And I filmed it, and they put it in the van, and then they're telling everybody else, "Look, guys, you got to leave. You have to leave the area." And then that's when I got a bit funny. I was like, "Why?" And he goes, "There's people walking around everywhere. People are just walking around. Like, why do I have to leave? What's your reason for coming outside?" And I was like, "Well, I'm out. Like, this is like my exercise. I live in London, and I just go out and I walk around everywhere. And
Right.
I've
That
got a
was the
camera.
one a day
Yeah,
daily exercise. We were still having that back then,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Once
And I
a
had
day
a
you're allowed to go
GoPro,
out.
and I was genuinely honest with the police officer. I said, "Look, I've lost my work. I'm just going out exercising. I've got my camera, and I'm just filming things. So I go around, and I'll upload it on YouTube and see what happens. Try and make a living. That's all I'm doing."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah, but you can't be here. You have to leave. You have to go home. I said, I have to go home. But everyone else is walking around. And I wasn't filming this. I was having a genuine, just like regular conversation,
Mm-hmm.
believing that the police would have some sense and some compassion, right? And the guy was like, no, you have to leave the area. Then I was like, what area? We're on Parliament Square. And he goes, yeah, this area. I said, but just here. He goes, yeah, just here. He's making this stuff spot. For how long? And he was like, uh, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, right? And then I just fucked off. And then I got really angry. So I was like, I just like laid my heart out to this dude. I said, look, I've lost my work. I'm just stuck at home. I'm coming out to exercise. It's quite sad if you think about it. Just walking around on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm filming. So I got a little crappy GoPro just to try to do something.
Mm.
And he just didn't give a shit. He was just like, yeah, fuck off. And I was like, you fucking bastard. And then I went home and this wasn't my plan, but I was angry. I didn't like what the police did. And I just put a video and I called it police arrest woman for drinking a coffee.
Right.
That's what she was doing. And then it went up. And after that, all the videos just went up. And again, what I said earlier is because people wanted to see what was happening, the protest, what the police were doing, and everybody was at home. And so it was good then in terms of like getting like views and you can get money out of it at that time. But I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people at that time didn't have the intention to make a channel to make money, like
Well,
Tyrant
surely you
Finder,
get shadow
Subject
banned.
Access. Yeah, that happened eventually.
Mm.
That happened eventually. But I just wanted to just like make this point. At that early time in 2020, like the few people who made channels, I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for the ones I mentioned, like Tyrant Finder, Subject Access, myself. There's another guy, Immortal Aliens, but he was an IRL streamer, not like doing journalism or filming protests. They just had channels. I just made a channel to speak to people. And Tyrant Finder, Subject Access, they were doing audits. That's all they were doing. When the protest happened, they just started filming it. They weren't afraid to film it. You know, they weren't afraid to come outside and defy what was going on. And then everything just came from that. So it
Mm.
wasn't my intention for these to do these, same with the other guys. We were just filming and everything just came from that. But then they reached a point where the shadow banning started. Because before then, like it was natural. Like I put a video people want to see, people will see it. It will get spread around. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy the amount of people who are watching it, because that's how it was meant to work. You get shown a video that you want to see. And the shadow banning started, it was clear as day. Like everything just stopped. Everyone's channels kind of stayed at the same point.
Mm.
Didn't really grow, wasn't spreading around, wasn't getting the same views. Yeah, it was clear as day, and now, yeah, everyone's channel just stayed at roughly the same place. Like
And
it can grow, but it's not going out as much as it's meant to, as it should. It shouldn't. And then the people who kind of don't suffer greatly from that are people with big channels. So if you have like, let's say if you got like 100,000 plus subscribers, because you've got so many people,
mm.
The few people who get to watch it will make a difference. Because if you look at Maya Tusi's channel, like if I do a live, I can get, let's say 100 to 200 people, right? About 100 people. And that's like how many thousand subscribers? It's probably, what, 11,000 or something now. But if I film, I filmed the Todd Robinson thing, I had like almost 4,000. That's crazy. But that was a special event that got shared around.
Mm.
But anyway, 11,000 subscribers, and I can get about 100 to 200 people. But then you have Maya Tusi, and if you watch his live streams, he's got like 600,000. But his live streams aren't 50,000 people watching. They're about 2,000. They vary from about 2,000 to 5,000. So it's only a small percentage of the subscribers who are watching that live. But if you have 2 to 5,000 people watching, that's a significant number.
Mm.
To have that 5,000, people will share the video around.
Who's
There will
that?
be
Might you
people.
say Maya Tusi?
Oh, you don't know Maya Tusi.
Mm.
He comes out now, but he started a long time ago during the Brexit era. And So he'll just do news from his house, talk about politics and current events, all political based. But I don't know, last year his channel's gone up a lot. So he's been doing it for a long time, but he's got a big channel now, especially this year. He's just gone up a lot. So he covers daily news.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
again, big numbers. But if you look at the ratio of people watching live, it's everyone has like a similar ratio to
Mm.
their channel. But the more numbers you have, it's easier to bypass the shadow banning.
I saw, Tyrant Finder. I only
Yeah.
saw the first video of him a couple of weeks ago, and
Mm.
he had loads of views. And he was doing a video exposing who he thought was some police informant, and you
Oh,
were actually standing next to the police
yeah.
informant, going like that. I was like, uh, that was quite a amazing video. I don't know what to fully make of it, but I that he had a lot of views.
Yeah,
Uh,
but how much? I remember he made one video and it was like a minute long. It was a very short video. Like, what's this? And it was what, 70,000 views? I haven't checked
which
recently.
which video?
The one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's called the video that no one wants to play, but it's
Yeah.
got, I think it was 20, 30, 40,000. It
No, I
was
think
in the
I think he
tens
got
of
more than that.
thousands.
Yeah, I think it got more than that. Not that I'm looking at numbers. I just remember. I'm just checking it again. Yeah, it's like 70,000, like a 46-second clip. But you can
That's
get that. And I think a lot of that happens from people sharing.
mm,
So you can see on your analytics, like where has it been shared to? It'll show Facebook, uh, WhatsApp. So you can bypass the shadow banning if people interact in that way.
mm,
So even now, my videos are right. Look, please, thanks for watching, like and subscribe. And sometimes I write, look, it really helps if you share this video.
mm,
If you like it, like share it. If you want to, because when you're sharing to Facebook, it gets shared again and shared again, and it all comes back. I remember one video I had, yeah, like it was filmed as a protest at Dover, and I just interviewed people afterwards, and he got like 50,000 views in a day, 50 or 60. And I was like, how the fuck did that happen? And Sean was like, probably his Facebook, right? And when I checked the analytics, like a couple of days later, it was. So you can break it, like we can break it, by actually just physically sharing things around,
mm.
because the algorithm's not going to help you in some cases.
I remember seeing a video. I think it was you, and it was on Resistance GB, and you were talking to some Indian guys who they were facing really bad, um, like banning, but they just re-uploaded it the next day, and then the next day. Every time it got pulled, they re-uploaded it, and you were saying that was inspiring you. Do you remember that one? It was like you're inspired because it was like they were under really harsh sort of tyranny, but they just kept on re-uploading and
Is
re-uploading and
it was this
re-uploading.
like a proper like studio setting?
It was uh it was Resistance GB's video. I remember that, and I just remember you talking to some Indian looking fellas. I'm
with
not sure if they
turbans?
were Indian, but
With turbans?
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was during there was an unofficial referendum for India, for like Punjab, to make a separate state called Khalistan, which is where Punjab is, right?
Right.
So that basically would cover Pakistan, Afghanistan. They wouldn't actually know, they're separate, but the whole of Punjab. Because initially it wasn't, it was a separate place. So they want it back and they want to call it Khalistan. Like there's all this conflict. They've got the Kashmir border. They just
Right.
cut a line through it. So they want to get rid of that. So there was an unofficial referendum held all over the world. People turning up and voting, do they want it or not? Nothing's happened with it. It was during that moment. And there was this news channel. I think they were based in Birmingham. How did we get to Birmingham? We went to Birmingham. I can't remember how we got there. But we were there. And yeah, so they were dealing with that and they just kept doing it. They didn't care. They just kept like, yeah, whatever, screw it. They just kept. I was like, well, that's great.
Mm,
Because normally you'd think, um, oh, my channel's gone, that's it, I can't do anything. Well, you can. You
mm.
just keep uploading stuff. You use another platform, you just keep going, you
Yeah.
know.
It's like discipline, like make that part of like it's
Mm-mm.
not being more of like a real like try and beat them through just sheer discipline of uploading.
Yeah,
Mm,
you just carry on. Like another example, like a Unity News Network. That's what they did. They had a YouTube channel and it was doing really well and it's going up and up and up because people wanted to see it. And then they just got rid of the entire channel because they were covering the COVID stuff, um, everything to do that time accurately. And then David Clues ended up using D Live. It's this platform that a lot of people don't even use. But he goes, this one works. And they just stuck with it. And they seem to survive where they can have hosts and have a 24-hour news channel, 24-hour live news channel. I'm not sure if it's 24 hours, but it's 7 days a week.
Yeah. I remember in the early days, like I was very naive and I used to make these videos and I used to put the title like COVID scamdemic, tyranny bollocks and this sort of titles. And I'd get my first YouTube videos pulled like in a second.
Yeah.
But I was like, what? Oh, you can't do that. So it was quite a revelation to me that that was even happening because I think the majority of the population aren't even aware of this sort of thing happening. It's only the people who've had first-hand experience who with the
Yeah. When
uploading
you
process.
actually, I think that they how it kind of came about. If you have a channel, that's a different experience. I've got this thing, I want to put it out. Like if it's on Facebook and your post gets pulled, it's a different. I think it's a completely different scenario. So I remember in 2020, around March, April, whatever, um, I saw, I don't know, it was online or news or whatever saying, listen, like Facebook, this is a serious matter and everything, right? And just for the record, I stayed in my house for 2 months. I was just moving around doing different things. I went back to London and stayed with mum and dad. So my older brother was like, look, we don't know what's going on. Just stay here, don't go anywhere.
Mm,
And I was in like survival mode. So I don't know what's going on. I didn't just go, they're lying to us, right? I stayed in my house for like 2 months, didn't leave. And then like 2 months after that, I went to the park on my own and came back. But I remember sitting at home and hearing about this. They're like, oh, what we're going to do, Facebook, the online social media and everything, Facebook especially is going to get rid of certain things. They're going to protect everyone. Like any misinformation that's going on, they're going to remove for everyone's safety. And I was like, okay, but that sounds iffy. That
mm,
sounds a bit wrong to me.
mm.
Yeah, that sounds like that's going to get out of hand. That is censorship. I was always against the big government anyway, but I was like, I get it because there's this deadly virus that's going to, it's deadly, and we're all in our houses. But I don't trust you guys. This can get out of hand. So when it came to the actual, to us in YouTube at that time, like I don't think most people were seeing it. I don't think most people were seeing like what was happening to people uploading stuff on YouTube. I think they're already conditioned to what their experience on Facebook. But they already know, oh, this is against COVID, so it's fine. But the
Mm.
ones who know and saying, look, this is what's happening, right? Um, they're the ones who actually felt it. The people who knew what was going on, uploading what they felt was the truth, getting pulled. But regular folk, I think it just went over their heads.
Mm.
And then they look at us and we're like all just crazy conspiracy theorists and
Mm.
we just brushed it all off.
Yeah,
That censorship would work. The masses weren't really seeing everything. Even
yeah,
now, you speak to people in the street and you say there was hundreds of thousands, millions of people in the street. Oh no, they weren't. Really? I don't remember.
mm. Yeah. I remember David Icke did a interview with London Real around maybe about a month into the scamdemic, and he it was a brilliant like interview, and I'm not sure what I think of London Real, but it was a good like interview, and he got pulled immediately, and people seem to be quite happy with it, with that. If I post on Facebook, look, this has got pulled just because it goes against the WHO
Yeah.
rules of the pandemic, and that was a big like, oh my God. Well, if they can do that, if they have that much power, then they can virtually do anything. They can put us on house arrest indefinitely, and they're only getting more powers, aren't they? The World Health Organization, they're getting more
Well,
and more
they
power.
signed the treaty a couple of months ago, World Health Organization treaty, and it's just not advertised that much. I think they signed it, and that's basically in a case of emergency. that powers will be given to them. WHO. That's why they're constantly pushing this crap. They're constantly pushing, like, like what they said happened. Like, if you look at the American election, you like all the Democrats, they're constantly talking about it. There was a pandemic, and we did the best that we could. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm.
What the hell are you talking about? There's one guy. There's a mayor from. I should have wrote this down. I don't know if it was the mayor. It wasn't the mayor, but in New York, there was this dude who's called the COVID Tsar, this doctor guy, and he enforced and put all the mandates and everything in. And then someone did like a Project Veritas kind of undercover thing on him, and he was at a bar getting drunk. They got a camera hidden, and he just literally said everything. He goes, I'm the guy who put everything in place." And he was saying, like, yeah, we put fear into people's minds so they would comply. But we weren't doing anything. We didn't take anything. We were having parties. He was saying, like, the Wall Street guys were having parties in this underground place, getting high on MDMA, having a sex party in hotels.
Yeah, I heard
Right,
that.
while he was doing all this shit. That's all there. It's all there. It's all coming out, but they still pretend like that's to the masses that it never happened. It was what it was.
By the way, we've already used the C word about 3 times now.
Yeah.
Does that mean I'm gonna have to pull this video and
No,
like
I don't think
delete
so.
it?
No.
Because last week I left it up, but previously I've had to pull them and upload them to BitTune. I don't know what to do anymore.
I don't know. I mean, I'd kind of do that anyway, right? But I don't know how it works anymore. Like you said that the S word, the SC something.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know. I think if it's like a direct statement, but they're still following it. They're still following like the guidelines. If you go to the YouTube guidelines, they update things all the time, but they're still following the pandemic stuff. They're still doing it. Higher authority or whatever. But then you look at YouTube and you look at other people who are able to talk about whatever the fuck they want, and you look at it and you're like, there's no way I can say that. There's no way I can put that content up. I
Like
would
Russell
be in
Brand.
trouble. Yeah, I would
Like
exactly. I would like, how on earth does that? That's bullshit. That's just nonsense. Like I put a video up. There was I didn't realize, but there's an annual protest or annual rally for Christians do against abortion. There was one. It was a couple of weeks ago, and I put a couple of videos of that up. And then you see it underneath the video. There's a NHS thing, information about abortions. It comes up. It knows what the algorithm for that. The AI scans everything. Okay, this is about abortion. There was abortion in the title, and it gives you information. So even stuff about COVID, you might get one of those notifications underneath the video saying, for more information about this, go to this NHS website.
I don't
I
mind
think it's
that
if
so
you
much.
make bold statements. Sorry?
I don't mind getting little messages. I just don't like it when they pull the channel and then I've got to start all over again. And that's why I tend to pull the videos if I think I've said a rude word.
Yeah, the lives are just like dangerous. Lives are just difficult. It's just hard. Like you do a live, you private them. Like one thing is you private them straight away because the algorithm, it takes time to catch up. They try to act like it's more advanced than it is, but there's just, I don't know, you can't even quantify it. How many videos are going up right now? How many lives are starting? How many per second are going up? And it's got to scan everything constantly.
Right.
So there's a time, and it takes time. And even like, I think last year I got two strikes in like a week, and the channel was on the verge of like deletion, and I pretty much deleted everything, right? I was backed up, everything's backed up. So all my videos are saved anyway. I rendered them. But all the live streams, it took me like a week to download everything. Then I deleted everything. And I got a strike from a video from like 2 years ago for medical misinformation. He just caught up.
2 years, 2 years later.
Yeah. So eventually it'll get you. So one thing was like you live stream and you leave it private. When it's private, it seems to be okay. Like the past couple of strikes I got was because I forgot to private a video. The last one I got was on New Year's Eve because I was in Central and Piers Corbyn was doing something. So Piers Corbyn will give you a strike, guaranteed. And then like I forgot to private it, and I woke up in the morning and it's like you have a strike for this. I was like, God fucking damn it.
Mm,
So even that privating thing, you don't know. They could just turn around tomorrow and be like, right, we're scanning all your all your videos.
mm,
So YouTube is just it's tricky. But part of me is just like I don't know what to do because there's other platforms. Like you said, it's BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey.
mm.
But a lot of people who watch like my channel and everybody else's channels on YouTube, they they're just lazy. They're lazy boomers, right? And they just don't go onto the other channels. They just other platforms.
Oh, what do you
You
mean?
know,
People who just want to stay on YouTube and they don't want to
yeah,
go to
yeah,
the
yeah. They
Odyssey.
want to see the truth. You know, they
They
believe in
can't
what
be
this.
bothered.
Yeah, they can't be bothered. And I was like, fuck's sake, can you just go? Like all these people are trying to. We used to make promo videos for the rest of it. Go to Rumble, go to Odyssey, and they just don't do it. And I've even met them in person saying, "Yeah, I tried doing Rumble, but I just couldn't get my head around it. It's just a bit different." I said, "I know it is, but if you want to see the uncensored truth, sometimes you got to start using them." But a lot of people just don't. So then what happens is, and I've noticed this with a lot of people who are still streaming and putting stuff up, they just don't bother. So they'll
Mm,
just stay on YouTube and they're getting views. They're in a way they're just making content. And I'm not going to mention names or anything, but I see it because they're not covering everything. They'll film certain things and then that you never see them. You never see it go up. They just make safe content for YouTube. And then
mm,
they'll also avoid certain things and certain people because they want to keep their stream up.
mm.
So in a way, it's like it's kind of big tech plan is working.
Yeah,
You can't do this. So then like, no, but we want to do it. And then like then they just go, yeah, I can't be bothered.
yeah. No,
So I try not to do that.
I've seen that a lot, not only in the sort of freedom movement space, but
Mm,
I've seen it in the like self-improvement video type space and like just
mm.
all types of like, the health stuff. People know that like, do you know that guy Andrew Huberman?
No,
Well,
sure.
he's a brilliant like YouTuber. He puts out loads of stuff about health. He goes into every last detail of every little thing, every little nuance of
Yeah.
every little health problem. But he will not speak on the C to the O to
Mm-mm.
the V to the I to the
Yeah,
Dizzle
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because he and like it's like we're not gonna even you talk about morning light and the effect on that. You talk about green juice. You talk about
Yep.
meat. You talk about, but you were not going to talk about that. And it's like, oh, that's too political. And I feel a bit just gaslighted by that sort of thing. And it seems to like be the majority of people who do that.
Yeah. People they become a part of that market. The market's like, okay, you want to make money from it. Uh, you've got to comply with these things, right? The advertisers are the investors in this case. They're like, yeah, we don't like that. So if you put stuff up like this, you'll get taken down and you'll suffer. So people they seem to be just like, what's the right word? They're coerced into just doing that. Just
Mm,
leave that little bit out. Like I met one guy, yeah, I'm not gonna mention names, but he's very popular. And I was up north and I met him just randomly. And then we sat down, had a coffee and stuff. And we were talking about it because obviously everyone's always accusations. Oh, well, where was this guy? Where were you in 2021? You never said anything about this stuff, right?
mm,
But I'm on just having a chat with him, and we just speaking about this stuff like openly. But he goes, "Look, but I'm just making a living. I've got
right.
a wife, I've got this kid, got another one coming.
Yeah.
Like that's like my income, really. Can't like jeopardize it." And I
Mm,
said, I get it completely. Like, you can't jeopardize your work.
mm,
No, he should have said something. Well, then he loses everything.
mm.
So you have to do stuff, within those constraints.
Yeah. It is a
Yeah.
balancing act in it for all of us. I mean, I have to do certain things in my job and
Mm.
all the just it's not only in the job but just in like social relationships where you have to balance between speaking your truth and being on like the moral side of whatever,
Hmm.
and then the other thing is, oh, I've got to actually just get through this day or this week or this month and
Yeah.
not piss someone off to the point where so it's an interesting period,
Hmm.
certainly. um it's 9 o'clock now. I mean, can do a bit more. I've wrote down some things here. Um,
It's a tricky situation, man. But I think like everyone needs to. It works both ways. This is what I was saying earlier. Like people need to, if they want to see what's going on, they have to go elsewhere. They have to make a little bit more of an effort. You know, now you have Twitter, which is like you're allowed to put what you want. I'm using it. Like it's going really shit actually. Like some things might go up, but it's there. And everything I do, it goes to Rumble anyway. And there's sometimes I'll film something, I was like, yeah, screw this. I film the whole thing, put it in Rumble and put it in my Telegram broadcast channel. But I'm still carrying on doing it, but people need to start going to these other places. Like if you don't like the commercial supermarket in your high street, if everyone stopped giving them money for like a week, um, they would suffer. That place will be on the verge
Mm,
of shutting down because it's losing too much money.
mm,
So I'm not saying you're going to bankrupt Google, but you've got to start wanting to see things by going to other places and watching them.
mm.
You got to start. Everyone's got to kind of put a little
Do
put a
their
little bit
bit.
of effort in this.
And where do you see this, like over the next 5 to 10 years? You're in London now, which is like
Yeah.
the epicenter of the chaos. I've
Mm.
heard some podcasters say, get out of big cities, or prepare to get out of big cities because what's coming is the big cities are going to be a shit show. Do you ever feel a bit scared that you're in the
I
middle of a
do.
shit show?
Yeah. Because because even getting out, like you need to be able to get out. I think about it sometimes. But if I can, that's why I've started filming again and putting stuff up. But if I can turn that into like if I can make enough money where I can go and put stuff out, I can travel around, I can move, I can go somewhere else.
Hmm.
You can't just decide I'm going to go and say, hey, what am I going to do? Like you have to make money. You have to be able to do. You have to be able to actually survive. But
You
epicenter,
paying
it's
rent
a
in
major
London?
city. Huh?
You paying rent in London?
No, I'm lucky. I live with my mum and dad.
Oh,
That's
right.
the good thing that came out of this lockdown. Come home, but I don't. No, no, I don't have to pay rent, but obviously just pay for everything else. It's family house.
Mm.
So everything is a lot cheaper. Everything is like shared. But that's another thing. That's what enables me to go out and actually do these things. So I can work when I want to.
Right.
And like I said, I'm doing music too, so I can just take time off and just go. If I got free time, I'll just go and work.
And what do your mum and dad think about what you're doing? Are they
Well, I don't know. It's like they can't or they can't stop me.
do they agree with you about what's going on?
uh yeah. I mean they get it, but they're like immigrants who came over. Their mentality is just like just get on with your fucking life. Just do something. Whatever it is you're doing, just do it and like settle down and give us grandkids. That's it. It's that kind of mentality. They don't really care. But they see because they were like complying with everything. And then I'll show my parents. I'll show my older brother didn't take anything either. And he's like, he works in the medical field. He's like a dentist. So he was like, yeah, don't do this shit. And now they see it. They see the effects from it, from other people, family, friends, neighbors. And they're like, yeah, we're not touching this stuff again.
Mm.
So they understand. They see it. And obviously they have like two of their sons absolutely battering them with it all the time. Look at this, look at this. And you see other people waking up. So they're okay with it. That's a good thing you asked me that, right? Because even during the lockdown, a lot of the people who were able to film, live stream, and do everything, right? Like people I mentioned, they were all in similar. Even though I hope they don't mind me saying it, they were all in similar situations, right? There's all of them, right? They're all living with like their family for one, or they were like just early retirement pension or something. And even now, I know some other people similar situations. They're in a situation where they could get out and go and film and come back. A lot
Mm.
of them were in the same boat. Like if I
Mm.
was stuck, like I just lost all. I was playing music and doing like, agency work. Like I just lost all my work. But if I was working, I wouldn't be doing it.
Mm.
I wouldn't be going to a protest to film and come home and edit. I know myself, it just wouldn't happen. So a lot of people, all those videos that are coming out during that period, everyone was in a similar situation. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
them, most of them. It just worked out that way. It just worked out.
You ever thought about doing van life like Sean?
I do actually. I do. I'm thinking maybe for next year because I think it's coming up to a year, but I've been working with the Daz band, and now I'm
Mm,
in the Daz band
mm,
and I'm traveling up north a lot. So I go up like near Stoke on Trent, and I'm going there quite often as well, kind of going up and back. I'm not driving, I'm taking transport, so I get like cheaper tickets. Like the car would work out the same. So I just get cheap tickets when I can, and it kind of works out. Actually, Darren advised me, don't drive. Just trust me, it will cost more money, and it will, especially if you're living in London. Pay for the car. There's less shit going on. It's just a pain in the fucking ass. It's too
mm,
expensive. This is the 50-minute city. They're just pricing us to the point where we can't use anything.
mm.
And but this year we did all the festivals. I did the last one at Hope, and
Mm.
it's fun, but sleeping in a tent ain't so fun.
No,
And then like waiting for a cheap train and trying to get back ain't fun either. So I'm just like, mate, I just need to just step up, just get like not like a big van, get some kind of vehicle that I can use where I can stay into, you know.
mm.
I
I've been
really think
dreaming
about
on
that.
van life too because I'm paying like 700, 800 quid a month rent,
Yeah.
and I love my little flat, but I'm like, I'm not making that much money. And like, I think if you're paying rent 700, 800 quid, it's like every month you could buy loads of equipment for something instead of paying, pissing away
Well,
on rent.
exactly. This is another thing, right? Um, all that money is just going. Like if it was a mortgage and you're getting something out of it, it's worth it, right? Okay, I'm spending all that cash, but I'm going to get the property. Like in other countries, they still do this. Everyone used to do this too. Everyone stayed at home. People stayed with their family. They made the house bigger. They all stayed close to each other, and it was obviously financially way better. And obviously, that it's more families all together. If someone has a kid, there's people to look after the kids all the time. It's community. But this has been driven out of people, especially in the West. You watch every TV show growing up, every film. 18, time to leave. You
Mm.
know, go get your own place and fuck off. Now you're paying. Now everyone's paying council tax. Everyone's paying tax on it,
Uh,
and the state's just making more money. I understand there's freedom and stuff, right? But if you've got the money to do it, you do it. So like in like the Indian community I'm from, most of them are from like South India, but everyone does this. They all stay at home. They go straight out to work. There's so much money coming into the house. Their houses are amazing. Indian people's houses. You go in, they have fucking 20 grand kitchens. They have the biggest TV you can buy. Like it's crazy when you go to people's houses because they got like two, three kids, two kids in their house working. The parents are working or just retired, and then they save that money as well. So, but even before they're 30 years old, they've got a house. They bought their own house.
mm.
I got so many friends like that. One down my road, he's a carpenter. Even before he's 30, he's got his own house. Couple of at the end of the road from his mum and dad. That they're all sorted. Why? Because they stayed with their parents. They stayed as a family
Mm.
until it was like, all right, got getting married now and gonna have a kid. So now's the time to buy the house, and everyone's got money. But we've been this culture here. We've just been pushed to just like, just go. Obviously, you have to work somewhere. You have to go to work somewhere, right?
Mm.
That's circumstance. But generally, it's just like, yeah, no, 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 go out, do this. It's fine. Just pay rent. Just do this. And then you're 30, then you're 40, then you're 50. You have nothing.
Mm.
That money's just going.
Yeah,
So
I
it's good.
lived.
So the van life thing, I'm like, if I was in like your position, I just take the van and then just use family's house as a base. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I might give it another 6 months in
Mm,
this because I lived with my parents for what was it, about a year or two
yeah.
just before the lockdowns, right? And because I saved up so much money, I was able to buy this sound booth, which was cost five and a half
Mm-mm.
grand. So it's like I would never have bought this if it weren't for that. And I have thought about that, but
You just do more. You
do
can
more.
do
It's just that,
more. Yeah.
yeah, it's just there's part of me which is like I'm 42 now. Like you're a bit younger, aren't you? So maybe part of
Yeah.
me is like 42 and like going back to live with my parents feels a little bit like
Mm.
that. I'm not sure if like they even want me there. I mean, no, actually, they always. My mum says come back and stay whenever you want, but part of me just feels like 42. Maybe it's kind of like
I mean,
we
living
live on
there
your
will
own.
be something. Like I don't know. Everyone's different. Every family is like different, you know. Like my family, like it's just my mum and dad. I have two brothers, so one's gone to Japan. He's got missus in Japan, and the other one doesn't live here. He just moved out a long time, like years ago. So it's just me. So they're older as well. So being around is helpful for them. There's a lot of things that they can't do. Even like stuff like tech, everything's online now. Everything's, I've got all their emails on my phone. I'm constantly doing things, and like we're all checking on everything.
Mm,
And when I travel around, I go away, and I come back a week later. You come back a week later, there's all this stuff that hasn't been done. It's good to see your family. So I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking like I could get a van. Now I'm free to move around. I can go up north and stay there for a bit. I can
mm,
just drive somewhere else. Maybe something interesting happening in Manchester. I can just
yeah.
just go down, not pay for a hotel, not find a place to stay. It's got self-sufficient, right?
Mm,
But then I can come back home.
yeah.
So you have that freedom. So now you're seeing your family too. Of course, your mum wants to see you. You know, like
Mm,
maybe not for like a whole month every single day, but
mm,
I think it's nice to do that,
mm,
to be around. You know, but think
yeah.
about this whole concept of like this is all stuff that I'm saying that this is all things that I've realized during lockdown. This is one of the positives, right? It brought me and my mum and dad like everyone closer together. But now we're stuck together.
Mm,
I mean, we're going through this thing.
mm,
Like I've learned more about them. You know, we're more friends.
mm,
And then now obviously start doing this crazy thing. And I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. And this is why I'm gonna do it.
mm,
And I appreciated their way of life way more now. Like, I just
right.
get it. Like, oh, you stay all stay together. No, don't move out. Like you're keeping community and family. But they'll always be there to look after you. If you're having downtime, they'll be there for you. You're not on your own. And it works for them too. Like you you'll seldom see, if even, like old Asian people in a nursing home. Like it's crazy. The idea of nursing home is like, oh, we're too busy. Mum, just go sit in a corner in this nursing home.
Mm,
Everyone's too busy. Everyone's busy doing something else. Like in certain cultures, even places like in the Mediterranean, they don't do that. The grandma stay with the family. Everyone stays in the same place. So everyone looks after each other. That's the
mm,
old way of living, right? Everyone just stays together. There's enough
mm.
money come in, so everyone's around everybody. The kids are raised with their grandparents, so it's good to like I appreciate where I am. There's lots of things I don't like, and I fuck off every opportunity, but
Mm.
like I'm happy that it came out this way. If you
Yeah,
know what I mean. It's a good thing.
yeah. I had a similar thing with my parents in that I think we actually we were always close, but we kind of briefly fell out over the lockdowns.
Mm,
Very short, very like for a very short period. During the time when the V rollout was happening, and I just didn't. I was really angry that they took the Vs. But now we get on, as good as we always did, and I appreciate them a lot more now. Maybe because I'm older and
yeah.
like I started to sort of see what it's like, what it must be like to be a parent, and
Mm,
they're just human beings too, going through that sort of traumatic experience and
yeah.
making
Yeah.
the most out of it they could. Uh, did you want to say anything else? Because we've done an hour now, and
I don't mind.
it was
I mean, I
well,
don't mind, man. I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like you just told me, like you're just documenting
yeah,
what's happening. I didn't
yeah.
know what
Well,
to expect.
we covered a lot of stuff there. I think I can't particularly think of anything to talk about because I don't really know what I'm doing on these lives.
Well,
I just like talking to people. Really,
I
it's
didn't
like my
know. I mean, I
social
did the
life.
same thing. But when I went live for the first time, it was fucking hilarious because I was I didn't know on YouTube you can go live immediately outside, right? You don't need to hit any targets. You just use a third party app, which is perfectly allowed, like Streamlabs or whatever. But I didn't know that, so I just waited until I got the numbers and the criteria, which is like a month anyway. But I did videos from my GoPro, So I'd film stuff and I'd go home and put the videos together and publish it. But when I got the ability to go live, I went out and it was something near Speaker's Corner. It wasn't Speaker's Corner event, there's some protests around it. And they arrested people. And then I went home and then I went through all my footage and I couldn't use like 90% of it. And I couldn't use 90% of my HD footage because I was just swearing throughout the whole fucking time. Right? I'm talking on the live stream.
Right,
And I'm
right.
just swearing and like saying rude shit, like making jokes. So when I'm pressing record, the HD footage, you just hear me swearing and like
I
telling the
noticed though
police off.
you do stay quite neutral in terms of you don't sort of get in front of the camera and start like saying what
Yeah,
your opinions are very often. Is that's purpose though, right? You do that just to
that's a
make
good thing to talk about. Actually, I'm glad you put that up. Like I realized at a point because I didn't know what I was doing, and then I think I put a couple of videos at the beginning. There were some skeptics. You guys are crazy, and I write, "Oh, crazy lefty does this," and then then the lefty protests started happening. You know, left leaning protests, kill the bill, Extinction Rebellion, and I'd go to that too. I used to go to. I didn't discriminate. Me and Subject Access would go to anything, anything. We just wanted to go out and film whatever was happening. It wasn't just like, which is my side, you know. Just went out to film whatever. And then other people would get shit because they were very overt, you know. It'd be like a bunch of lefties do this, you know, and all this crap. But then I'll speak, and I used to get flack, like third party flack from it. And they'll get, oh, you're this far right person from so and so. And so I said, not really. And I said, you see my videos, I don't really do that. And I'll actually talk to them. And then that took a while to get out. I know I've learned from there. I said, well, at the end of the day, if we're going to do journalism, right, you should do a good job because you can't behave like the people that you're against. You can't be like the mainstream media, completely biased, one-sided. They're liars. They do this. They demonize other groups, right? Which they clearly do, and they pretend they don't. So I'm like, well, I can't do that. Then you've got to treat everyone fairly and equally. So I've started doing it from then, and I just kept doing it, and I've kept doing it to the point where people just leave me alone. Even the left leaning groups, they will leave me alone. They know from experience that I put stuff that I will never screw them over. I'll
Mhm.
never take a video and say stupid idiot does this. Unless it's
Right.
really funny. Like the last video I put up, there's a woman protest boycotting the iPhone 16 at an Apple
Yeah,
store
I saw
using an
that.
iPhone. I mean, come on, mate.
I thought she
But
said though at the beginning that she's not going to get the next iPhone or something. I thought
I
that was
know, but just use somebody else's phone. You know, you're playing audio. Just
it's
say,
all
have
right.
you got an Android? Can I use this? Like, is it that hard? You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I've stuck with that, and I still stand by that. So even now, I'll go to things. I just put it out there. I just put it out there because you should follow that. Like, it's very easy just to go look at this crazy idiot doing something,
Mm.
right? It's very easy to do that, and I I stick by that. Like, it's not just some personal rule. I think that's how it should be. You should treat everyone equally. You should do a good job. And I do keep myself out. I try not to like, especially in my videos. I'll try to keep myself out as much as possible. And sometimes you'll see in the live stream, I'll speak to people first. I'll say, listen, look, this is what I want from you, right? Just tell me what you're doing, speak about the event, what you want to do next, introduce yourself if you wish, go for it. And then they just speak. And
And
I do that with everyone.
wasn't that part of the reason? Didn't like Tommy Robinson allow you access to like a certain like place where other journalists weren't getting access because he kind of trusted you or something like that? Were you told?
Yeah. I mean, but then like so when the Tommy Robinson stuff started happening recently, they're all the alternate media were there. But even in the past, I think it's 2021 when I first saw him. It was at the Israeli counter protest. There was Palestine. These people forget there's protests all the time. There was Palestine protests in 2021. There's always some shit going on, right? And he was at a protest, an Israeli one, and no idea he was there. People just said. First, he was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" But other people were like, "Yeah, I know him." Filmed him, and then they put it online on Twitter, and then he got shared around. And then I did it again. Like so, I actively went out to different things. I wasn't just going to a freedom thing and going, bah. or going to a lefty thing just to fuck with them. You know, I was just actually actively trying to work as a freelance journalist. And also by doing that, it builds up a portfolio. So there's an agency newsplayer which I use, which everyone uses. So I've got like a back catalog of all the videos I'm putting up. If people check it, you see, oh, this guy ain't just saying he's a journalist, but and running around, just promoting what he wants to promote. I literally cover everything. So in that way, people can't accuse me of anything, even the mainstream. But I've done that. So I made a couple of times, do the video, it goes up, people see it, and then it's just like, okay, cool. And that's how you gain trust. And again, I'll repeat the lefty groups, XR, they do the same.
Is there part of you that kind of say if you some people think Tommy Robinson is like a shilling for Israel. Is there some part of you that wants to be like, Tommy, what are you're deceiving everybody here? There's not part of you that gets angry and you need to like hold back a bit there.
No, because it's not just him. There's so many, like because you don't really know because we don't really know everything. We don't know what the factors are. It could be that, but I could say that about other people, even other YouTubers. People might say things similar about me, right?
Right.
But one I don't truly know because maybe it is what all the people are saying. It's exactly what's happening, or maybe donors are just giving money. That can very easily happen. I said this to you before. Like, I'm doing actual coverage. I go cover an event now, right? Maybe I start covering the Israeli protests, and then people actually like that, and some massive company, people lots of money, just put 10 grand in my PayPal, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they send me an email saying, listen, so we like what you're doing. We're a big company, and we appreciate it. So this is like, thanks. Like, go buy some equipment with it. Do what you want. Just carry on doing what we're doing. We really appreciate it. No one's giving this kind of coverage. No one's highlighting this issue, and you're doing a good job. And I'd be like, all right, cool. Thank you very much. But then they might do that again next month, and now I've got 20 grand from them.
Right.
And they're like, listen, seriously, don't worry about it, right?
Yeah.
You're the only one in London doing this for us, so we fucking appreciate it. And then like later down the line, they invite me to an event. We're having this thing. Like once you come down, it's like just out of London, but we pay for your hotel and everything. Just come down and hang out with us.
All right.
And then I do that. Then all of a sudden I'm on stage speaking, and all of a sudden I'm funded by them. I'm funded by the Israeli lobby.
Right.
Like it could be that, or it could not be, but I don't know. But the point of this is that that shouldn't make a difference. Like I should be able to ask whatever I want to ask. But what I do ask, I don't get too personal. I don't go and be like, you have connection to this person. That's not what I'm doing. That's what Stephen Crowder would do. That's what like Tim Pool will do. Getting people, you're this, you're one of these people. Prove us wrong. Right?
Isn't that why saying Nick from Scum Media? He has a slightly different take to you then, because he's quite persuasive in his journalism. And I really like him too. But you're just
I think everyone has different ways. So I'm like, okay, I don't need. I can just ask. Like recently, I haven't had much opportunity because like on stage and other people are jumping in and talking about stuff. But I'll just ask what, like the few occasions I got, how did the event go today? What do you think of the mainstream media? I can't remember what I asked, but like one time I wanted to ask him questions about, WHO, World Economic Forum, the globalists, and then like he's already said all that stuff on stage. I was like, okay, he's already said it.
Right.
I just want to like get stuff to guide towards the actual bigger issues. Like, who gives a shit about? In my mind, I don't really personally. I don't care about one person who might be a shill or not.
Right.
Like for me, it's like if that one person who, a massive amount of people are following, are listening to, if he's speaking about globalists and World Economic Forum and WHO, that's great. As long as he guides them towards that. You can't always, because I see the other thing as a secondary issue. Every fucker is fucking funded by someone. If you think about it, look at all this Puff Daddy stuff going on. Everyone's on the fucking gravy train from somewhere. You just need the masses to like ignore that shit and focus on the real issues. I mean, and also I want the videos to be seen by everyone. I've been filming the lefty stuff. recently. There was like the coconut trial. This woman had a sign calling Richie Sunak, depicting Richie Sunak in a celebrating with coconuts, which is brown on the outside, white on the inside, right? And she got let off. She got found not guilty for racial whatever it was. But I filmed them speaking, put it up on Twitter, and they're sharing it. Even one of the speakers, who's this like the only black social studies person, lecturer, PhD, whatever in the continent. I forgot his name. He's quite popular. Hindi something. I posted him. He reposted my video.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. If you actually look at my stuff, I'm covering the World Economic Forum. I'm covering the freedom stuff, ULEZ, everything, right?
Mm.
I got a video of Christina Anderson from he's the MEP from the European, from the EU. She's part of the ADF, right? And she's talking to me about WHO, all bullshit. I'm a pure blood, all of this stuff, right?
Mm.
That's all on Twitter. But because I'm showcasing it as I think a journalist should, openly and honestly, without defaming anyone or putting anyone down, it's acceptable. So in my eyes, if I just carry on doing that with everyone, instead of just going, look at this, what about this? It just goes out to more people. In my silly mind, I'm just thinking those leftists at that coconut trial will look at my channel, look at my Twitter, and scroll down. They'll appreciate the fact that I put them up honestly, put the speeches up, done nicely, done professionally, or as professionally as I can. And then they'll scroll down my little Twitter page and see Christine Anderson and listen to her. Listen to her talk about the pandemic. Listen to her talk about the WHO and the World Economic Forum and the European Union. Like, I think that's more important. That's like outreach. You don't want to alienate people. I don't want to. Even like Tommy Robinson, he has diehard religious supporters. I don't want to alienate them. I don't want to like say, oh, your hero is bullshit. Ignore him. He's a fake messiah and all of this stuff. These people still exist. They're all being played by someone somehow. The state, the media, everything. So it's like they just need we're in a war. I always say we're in World War III, and it's a war of information. And people are not getting the right information. So if I can get the truth like through Tommy to these people, that's amazing. If they see my videos and go, wait, he covered the protest, he's done this, he's done this, and then they look through and they find a video about, look, it's all bullshit, don't listen to the government. It wakes people up. And I've noticed that even in the Tommy stuff, like going there recently, people are starting to realize that it's more than just this migration thing. Same with the ULEZ. There's a lot of ULEZ protests, and all these people started protesting. They were protesting because they had to pay £12.50 a day. They complied with everything else. In the beginning, we go, Sean was telling me, like, God damn it, like you mentioned anything, right? Anything else, they'd lose their shit. Because they all took the thing. They all complied with everything. But now tyranny was fine. But the moment they're gonna pay £12.50 a day, fuck you. Cameras come down, they're on the streets, right?
What was they paying £12.50 a day for, sorry?
ULEZ in London.
Right. That's
was
the
it.
tipping point.
That is tyranny now. That is tyranny. I'll stay in my house. I'll take this thing.
I'll inject myself.
I'll lose my business. Yeah. And watch everyone just, whatever happens, happens. £12.50 a day. How fucking dare you? That's
Everyone
it.
has their breaking point, I suppose, because like even before the lockdowns, I guess there was tyranny going on all over the world. And it didn't really bother me. I mean, what's going on in Gaza doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Even though I hear it's pretty bad over there. But it's like, so everyone has different sort of pain points. What is going to actually make them step up? And I think a lot of the pain points are to do with people who have children. That'll as this gets worse and worse, people will, like with children, will actually want to do something, because that's not even about them anymore. It's about
I think it's been a massive in the past couple of years, has been a massive catalyst. And it has. I've heard stuff. There's a woman on Sean's show speaking about this. So even before, but I knew this stuff was going on, like you, right? But there wasn't a massive like overreach. We needed media lied about things, but no one was locking me in my house. No one was inflating prices of everything. Everything was all right. And even like the political sphere was getting bad, even in society. Like it was. But it wasn't to the point where they'd report you to the police. It was to the point where just, oh, you're a horrible person. That's it. Okay, don't talk to me. That it was just that. But this has been like accelerated dramatically. Like there's a woman came on Sean's show, And she was saying, like, Bill Gates, all these people had a meeting and they planned this all out. Because all these measures they're putting in, like the surveillance, 50-minute cities, they've been trying to do this for decades. And every time they try and do it, it just fails because no one complies with it. It hits a breaking point. So they made this plan to just shut everyone down, shut the economy down, shut everything fucking down, and then scare the fuck out of people and then force these things in, which is what they're doing. So this has just been a massive catalyst. So now it's really hitting people. People can't afford things, and everything's going up. But yeah, that's why everyone's hitting their breaking point. And now look what's happening now. I was watching the Labour conference or clips from it, which is today. It was today, right? And the people who voted these fuckers in are losing their absolute shit. They've learned very quickly that these people aren't for the people.
People who voted
right?
Labour in.
Yeah. They're cutting winter allowance. They're raising the taxes of everything. They're not helping people at all, right? So everyone's just losing their absolute shit. So they're waking up. I'm hoping it continues where even they wake up and realize these guys aren't helping because they're just forcing all these tyrannical measures in. So people do wake up. So with the ULEZ people, the same thing happened. At the beginning, most of them they're just normies who are upset about paying £12.50 a day in London. But then they start to realize that actually there's more to this, and then they start hearing about everything else, the stuff we've been talking about. And then all of a sudden they're open to it. They're like, whoa, my fucking hell, this is fucking crazy. So they just keep waking up. And to go back to the Tommy thing, with anything, that's what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm just on my own. I film. And what I said at the beginning is like, when I wasn't filming, I'm like, I do have a channel, you know, I can go film something and put out my version or the version of what actually happened. And a lot of people may see it. So I feel compelled to do it. Like, I know it sounds a bit cringe, but it's like a little bit of responsibility. Like, Siroj, don't be lazy. Go and cover it. Go and film it.
It's your purpose,
get an honest
isn't
opinion. It? Yeah, like I've got it. I've still got this thing. Like I put a video up today, so nothing, just some people talking. Got hardly any views, but then some videos just go out. So I've got to do it. So go back. It's like the way I do it. I hope that it will jump to other people. It will bring more. It will show the truth to everyone. So even the left-leaning groups will come and see my videos and actually learn something, and then they might realize that they're being conned too. It's not just one-sided. Like if you look on Twitter, it's absolutely insane how it works. It's literally just two sides. There are prominent people they make money from it, and all they do is race bait, and then they giggle when they're caught out. But they just like it's almost theater, you know. So that's what I do. And I just try to do it that way. It's not the most lucrative way of making YouTube videos. Like you would make more, like you'll get more views and you'll make money if you put out, if you take the piss out of people. Look at this idiot, like all sensationalized things. Like you tend to get more. YouTube pushes that out. YouTube also loves pushing out conflict and police interactions and violence. That's why auditors do really well. People do auditing videos, and a lot of them are jumping onto these protests as well now because they realize, oh, there's a lot of action here. They can film action and they'll get more money and more views. But I don't think, for me personally, that actually helps the situation. I don't think demonizing another side will help anybody else apart from myself. But if I make a video, look, I'll put a video up, people, I can change the title. Like, what's the one out of my phone?
We can still demonize the 1%. Can't we? I mean,
yeah, I do that.
You mean
all
as
the
long as the
time.
99% stay on each other's side?
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. I'll put a video up today, and I'll make a kind of funny title, like it says like the colonizers are to blame for everything. That's what they're saying, right? There's a funny title, but that is what they're saying. But I'm not going to demonize them because what will happen is if you say, "Look at this stupid idiot lefty, look at they're retarded, they're stupid, they don't know anything," they're clearly not going to like that.
No.
Right? Because they genuinely believe what they believe. They think they're doing the right thing. So they're going to be like, these guys are just horrible, fascist, far-right bastards, and they're nasty. So next time they come, we're going to tell them to fuck off. We're not going to listen to anything that they say. I'm not going to watch their videos or nothing. But it gets lots of views because we will all watch it. And we'll be like, look at that idiot, right?
Mm,
So it's kind of like I feel if I do that, I'm making entertainment for people who already know what's going on,
mm,
and I'm strengthening that barrier between us and everybody else.
mm. I
It
get what you
needs to
mean.
be
Yeah.
it's a crossover. There needs to be a crossover. You need to be like, look, this is what's happening. I'm on your side, you know.
Yeah. No,
And I
I
don't
feel
hide
like
it. I don't hide it even with them. I don't hide it. I'm absolutely transparent. I said, this is what I did. This is what I do. But I just don't like the government. You know,
mm,
I just don't want any of this stuff. I don't want you in trouble. I don't want you arrested. I want none of it.
mm.
I don't hide it when I speak to them.
No, I know what you mean. I mean, when I'm making content, I'm mostly doing it just for a hobby, really. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
making any money out of it, but I'm also part of me is like if I can just like get through to one person
Yeah.
who has not quite woken up, then that's worth it.
Mm-mm.
So I have tried to be a little bit less divisive. Like first
Yeah.
like 6 months, I was being a bit divisive. I was like, "You fucking idiots! Why are you going along with this? Fucking brainwashed sheep." Blah blah blah. And now I'm like, yeah, that's probably what they want. The people behind this, they want us to be angry at each
Yeah.
other because that's called that it gets that
Mm.
divide and rule type thing going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're laughing their heads off now. Like even at that Apple Store protest, you see it, the police. I see them all the time. This because I actively went out for at least like 2 years, going filming everything, and I see how everything works. The police are just laughing. The state's just laughing. Everyone's protesting. It's like time slots throughout a week, and unless they get the order to smash heads in, which is they'll smash our heads in, they don't do anything. They just like hang around like security guards. And once the kids are done doing whatever the crap they're doing, whoever they may be, they just bugger off to the next one. You know, and at that the police are the arm of the state, but all these different groups protesting all hate each other. They don't mix. You know, the Palestine stuff going on for the past year, because it's coming up to a year, and the freedom movement just disappeared. There's meant to be protests every month, and it's like, oh, because the Palestine stuff is going on, we're all gonna not do it. I said, well, what do you mean? Like, how can freedom be selective? This is the time. There's hundreds of thousands of people coming out every week who don't like the media, who BBC are lying, the mainstream are lying, and their country that they like are getting bombed. Isn't this the time for everyone to come out and say, guys, there's a new world order going on. The media are liars. They're lying to you about everything. This is a global war. They're just doing this. They're making money. That's not the time to come and tell them,
Mm,
right? But there isn't. There's a divide, and that
mm,
divide's been even strengthened even further now because now everyone's far right apparently,
mm,
right? It's just they orchestrate this divide. So even as I said earlier, with YouTube, the way it works, because people and the main platforms, even the people who are creating the videos, creating the content, end up complying with it. Like you said, like the DIY person, just or whatever, not covering certain things. So that's just left out of the spectrum. It's really smart. Like it's simple, but it's really smart. If you want to make your videos, you want people to see it, you got to comply.
mm.
But the same with the protest. Even people have just become so separate; they don't mix with each other. Even the freedom movement, people are just doing their own different things.
No, I saw in Leeds that they regularly have the Palestine protest,
Hmm.
and across the road from the Palestine protest is the anti-Semitism protest, where they're
Yeah,
handing out things about the how anti-Semitism is on the rise, and there's like police like separating the two
yeah,
groups, man. That anti-Semitism thing, like, it, I that is one thing that just makes me go, I can't believe you're out protesting these people over here and they're just against genocide. But I didn't. I just kind of walked past them. But, that is a bit of a baffling one, isn't it?
yeah. But that's like their divide. Well, there is look. There's Jews, and then they have the Muslims, and the Muslims don't like the Jews, right? That's why certain countries want to eliminate them. I think when it was in the 80s, or Egypt, who was it? What other country was it? Well, Egypt, another country, they attacked Israel with military, jets and everything. They went to fucking fuck Israel up, and that's when then uh, Israel defended itself. I mean, with the help of the West, right? But that's a divide that's created. So just think about this, okay? That's been repeating for the past year. There'd be
Mm,
a massive Palestine march, all marching through, and then there'll be a small counter protest, Israelis surrounded by police, right? So the Palestinians, the ones don't get violent and attack the Jews or whatever. But the thing is, the state allows these things to happen, and the state are ones that keep them in division, so they don't talk to each other. But again, both of these groups complied with everything in the past 4 or 5 years. They happily complied with the state completely, right? And now these things have happened. They've all been like, oh, there's anti-Semitism going on. Oh my God, there's a genocide happening right now. And then that's it. They're all out there. So these people generally, because it's the thing that they feel attached to, which is personal to them, that's when they're out. And they're like, you're doing a good thing. Good job. You have the right to do this. You have the right to do a little protest. We'll just make a little line. You carry on. Tell us where you're going and get it out of your system. In the meanwhile, we'll carry on taking your fucking rights away. And you remember those hate speech laws, those blasphemy laws that you loved? If anyone, criticized the prophet, we'll arrest them. It's hate speech, Islamophobia. They'll be like, yes, please. Thank you so much. Inshallah, we love it. We love it. Right? Even though that's the end of free speech. Now they're using it against them. They have a sign with coconuts on it. Whoop, racially aggravated sign. Arrest. They arrested people for signs. Now they want free speech. See, even now, that divide is still there. They're just laughing. But all these groups, they're out there because it's something which they connect to.
Yeah.
They don't see. So even myself, I want to be able to just try and show them in a way, try and get through to them. So they'll be like, okay, this is what's going on. Yes, war shouldn't happen, but it's not what you think it is. It's these fuckers. It's these fuckers, man. And I think,
yeah, there's an art to it. Yeah, you're doing a good work, and even if it wakes one person up at a time.
Yeah.
And by the way, Siroj gave me a song he was working on.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to write some lyrics to it, and the working title is Divide and Rule.
Nice.
So I got that into the words into that, but I haven't finished it yet. But once it's done, we'll have a song. But yeah, do you want to leave it there? Because we've been an hour and a half, and yeah, we covered a lot of good shit there, man. So what are you doing tonight?
Oh no. Hello? Yeah.
Hello?
I just offered. Is it me? Could be me.
Yeah, I think it's your side.
Can you hear me?
I just said, you what are you doing tonight? You just chilling? You going out?
No. What time is it?
It's 9:45.
Yeah, I'm not going out. No. I got tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's something. I need to do stuff at home for my life. It's work. But tomorrow, there's something happening in Central. There's something happening in London. Let me just check. What day is it tomorrow? It's 23rd, right?
24th tomorrow, yeah, Tuesday.
24th. God damn it. Right, 24th. What's happening tomorrow? Social protection. All right, one thing important happening tomorrow, zombie knives. So tomorrow, the ban on zombie knives is officially enforced. That's tomorrow, right? And apparently,
what the hell that is.
Zombie, everyone's like stabbing each other because they, that's what people do now. They're these knives. They're called. I don't even know what the fuck it is. Zombie knife.
Zombie knife banned from midnight. Warn West Mercia police.
They're just massive knives, right? Why are they called zombie knives? What the fuck is zombie knife? Zombie knife is a type of ornate knife or bladed weapon inspired by zombie films and TV series. These knives can range in size and shape, but are legally defined in the UK as having a cutting edge. Blah blah blah. They're just like fancy, crazy, menacing looking knives. I'm looking at some pictures of them. They got serrated shark-like teeth and double-edged. Oh my god, it just looked fucking evil, right? But young kids are stabbing each other with them, and young adults are stabbing each other and killing each other with them. So the government's going to fix it. So tomorrow, the ban on zombie knives, right? So I'm thinking I might go out. There's something else going on. Oh, Spandau ballet singer is being sentenced on rape charges tomorrow somewhere. The Spandau ballet?
Yeah, I've heard of Spandau ballet, yeah.
Yeah, apparently a singer from there is getting sentenced.
Another interesting thing to cover.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to
But,
follow Siroj, it's actual coverage on YouTube, by the way.
oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Heathrow Express have a strike. RMT union. I have to go through a list. But I might go out, cover something, and then just I want to ask. This was something I want to try doing. I want to start. I'm getting very bored of just filming random shit, and nobody wants to watch it anyway. I'm thinking I might go and speak to people on the street in Central and ask their opinions, like their opinion on the zombie knives. You know, just go out there and try and get people to speak to me. And doing the way I do it, where I'm not really talking on camera, I'll just be like, look, what's your opinion on this? What do you think? Feel free. And just put that all together because I still want to do something that will make a difference. And I think doing that might help.
Okay. I'll look
People might
forward
want
to
to hear
watching that.
opinions. So I'm thinking I might do that tomorrow. That's what
Okay.
I'll be doing.
Cool, mate. All right. Well, thanks very much for doing this, man. And I'm
That's
gonna
all right, man.
chop it up and put some little clips in it. And
Yeah.
hopefully I'll see you soon, probably in a field somewhere. Maybe get or some music event somewhere. But I
Yeah.
hope you do well up until that time.
No, likewise, man. It's that song, in it. We'll work on it. We'll speak.
We'll definitely finish that song.
We'll do it. All right,
Okay.
man.